Well, viewers, this is not only a murder story. This is a story about what happens when a young man's stabbed, the killer speaks first, the dying victim is disbelieved, the weapon disappears, and the official system appears to keep learning or leaning toward the wrong narrative. And that's why this case feels so morally unbearable, because Henry Nowak did not only face violence, he faced violence, accusation, disbelief, restraint, concealment, and institutional failure while his life was leaving him. And when you think about it, can you remember when that jet aeroplane went down can you remember when that jet aeroplane went down, the US Army one, and they waited and waited and they rescued him? Yeah, right? The situation on our streets in the Western world has gotten to the point where we're dealing with the enemy from within. The enemy is within. We've got a civilian that's been stabbed multiple times. The police turn up completely blindsided by the murderer and his family. And miss the whole reality of the situation, which was Henry Nowak was bleeding out. The evil of this case sits in layers. The murder, the killer's lies, the family concealment, the police misreading, the continued blame narrative, and the governmental failure to protect the public from weaponized loopholes and delayed accountability. Movement number one, the murderer. Henry Nowak was 18. He was stabbed 5 times by Behavioural Singh Digwa, who was later convicted of murder and sentenced to life in imprisonment. 21 years, not life. He'll be 40 odd when he gets out. The judge described Henry as loved, kind, hard-working, ambitious, and full of promise. And this must begin there, not with race, not with religious sensitivity, not with institutional language. A young man was murdered. Movement number 2, the killer's lies, the lies of the killer. Digwa falsely claimed, along with his brother, Henry had attacked him and racially abused him. That lie mattered because police initially believed the killer's narrative before properly recognising Henry's fatal injuries. Now, this goes to show how ignorant police are today in some cases, because they were completely blindsided by the criminals. And this is the second evil. The knife wounded Henry's body. The lie wounded his name and deceived the police. Movement number 3. Henry was made the suspect. Henry reportedly told officers he had been stabbed and could not breathe, yet he was handcuffed and treated as the aggressor, while Digwa was not initially restrained in the same way. In fact, as a matter of fact, it doesn't seem he was restrained at all. They didn't let on he was stabbed. They didn't mention that he was stabbed. They showed no urgency to the reality of the situation. And to me, that shows you the nature of these people that we're dealing with. The evil, the lot. Not just the guy that's stabbed, the lot of them, accessory to the fact. And when you think about it, the police are in pretty deep because they believe that they were misled. They didn't go to that crime scene with a neutral perspective. And this is the institutional horror. The dying victim was not immediately protected as a victim. I mean, you're innocent. Aren't you innocent until proven guilty? Tammy, you're innocent until proven guilty, aren't you?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, you're supposed to be. And this is the evil of it. This is how these people that stabbed him could stand there knowing he was dying and not tell the police this is more urgent than you think. Oh yeah, he's been stabbed. They just didn't. They hid the fact. A dying victim was not immediately protected as a victim. He was processed through the killer's accusation. Movement number 4. The knife disappeared. The murder weapon was removed from the scene. Digwa's mother, Karan Kaur, was convicted of assisting an offender for hiding the weapon. And this is not a side detail. It shows the moral collapse after the violence. First came the stabbing, then came the story, then came the disappearance, the deliberate, willful disappearance of the evidence. Movement number 5, the police narrative problem. The latest reports say police considered language that still cast Henry as the aggressor, including assault, wording, before the Crown Prosecution Service pushed back and the wording was altered. And this is why public outrage is justified. The lie did not simply contaminate the scene, it nearly contaminated the official record. Movement number 6, the government failure. The government layers not that ministers personally murdered Henry. The failure is structural. The young man died in a society where weapon exemptions, police response, public safety, evidential control, and victim protection all now demand scrutiny. Reports state Henry's family has called for reform around ceremonial knives and public safety. And so is a lot of Sikhs, because they're saying that these people want the authority to carry the knife, but they're not yielding responsibility in carrying the knife. So the government becomes responsible when loopholes, hesitation, political fear, or institutional caution leave ordinary people exposed. The case is evil because it did not end with one act. Henry was stabbed, then he was accused, then he was disbelieved, then he was handcuffed, then the knife disappeared, and might I say he was all on his own with everything against him. Can you imagine it? Then the system still appeared tempted to preserve the wrong framing. And that really removes trust in the system. So that's the full moral architecture of the case. He lied, the killer lied, Henry died, the knife disappeared, and the truth had to fight its way through the people who should have protected both Henry and the truth.